Test, test.
Chris, are you getting them? Are you getting the wireless?
Test, test.
Okay. All right. We'll start off with our statement from coach, and then we'll open it up for questions.
Two good teams going at it. You know, I thought the starting pitching was different. Like each one of those guys was built to pitch differently. Both were tremendous. Joey was on it, moved his fastball around, the big breaking ball. I think he had that all day. Used his changeup well. I can't ask for more than that out of a starter in this situation, rolling in here to a place that clearly we've never played. Pitched out of some leadoff activity and seemed to manage and got some big outs. That first out when they seemed like they were positioned to have some sort of an inning created, he did a nice job. I thought our defense was solid. There were some tricky plays. Shortstop did a low D's. There were 3 or 4. Third baseman, Fisher, several nice little plays. Our second baseman made a nice one up the middle. The play that Lodis made to kind of keep the game from ending up the middle was really nice. I thought our catcher, Carnsey, did a great job. Both teams had nice relays. That was a big out that we had. You have to finish games, and, you know, Joe, that seemed like a favorable matchup, but the breaking ball needed to be underneath the zone. I think that ball, you guys could see better than me, looked like it was more in the middle part of the zone and elevated a little bit, and that's a talented team. You know, the punch-outs, we racked up some strikeouts. I think as we did that, it drove Whitney's pitch count up pretty good, and we were able to get him out of there. Our 2-out hitting was good. There were several 2-out key hits that we had. Miles' home run was big. So sporadic offensive stuff for both teams, but clearly they stacked enough at the end, and Joe had been really good for us. And they stacked some things late to come out on top. And you have to finish games, and you have to finish pitches, and we did not finish the inning nor really finish the pitches that we needed to make to end it when we had a chance to end it with, I guess, a runner on second base and 2 outs. And you felt like you were in position. But they're a good team, and you can see why we're here playing them, and they earned it, and they earned the win.
Questions?
You had 3 outs.
We'll have you speaking in the mic. Thank you.
You had 3 outs on the base paths today. Obviously, all of them came with 2 outs, but do you think you might have been a little too aggressive as a team?
The first one was a bad mistake. I think he thought that ball was going out, and it did not. And you have to run the bases as if it's not, and if it does, so be it. And then, you know, the other one, Max just needed to kind of keep right on rolling there on the one. But, yeah, it adds up. And, I mean, everything when you're in this situation matters. And, yes, they all add up and they all matter.
You mentioned how good Joe's been for you guys. Just as the pitch count mounted up there in the ninth, was there a thought to go to someone else, or was that just always going to be his game to close out?
Well, we had thoughts of it, and we had guys prepped and ready. It seemed like the matchup and his stuff favorably worked for that hitter. It just wasn't. He did not execute it. Was it too much? You know, we had a number in mind, and he was not there. So. Did it factor in? Maybe it did. You know, he's got to harness things. It got a little messy in the wild pitch and some of the other things with the left-handed hitters. That has not phased him. But, you know, something appeared to today. I think if he just keeps that last one down, it may not be a punch-out, but I don't think it's hit like the guy hit it.
I think 7 of Joey's 8 strikeouts were on the curveball. I think that was a pitch you had mentioned, trying to get back in shape just with the volume of innings he's thrown. Just how good was it to see him execute that pitch over and over again?
It was great, and he's a big kid, and it has a good release height to it, and it's got tremendous spin. So when he's landing that, you see a lot of takes. I think hitters, even good hitters, give up on that thing a little bit because it's so big. And Whitney has a similar pitch. Joey may have landed it more frequently today, but it was great, and he threw some good changeups, and he was able to get the breaking ball down and got some swings over the top of that thing. So you can't ask for more than that out of what he did.
You mentioned Carnes behind the plate. Just how pleased were you with the way he handled this environment and just also the way he swung it at the plate?
Steady. That was like a rock back there today. His at-bats were really good all day. The ball to right center, the base hit to left, caught great, blocked. Both catchers stood out to me. Their guy plays a good game. He's a senior. He grinds, big at-bats, handled things. You could tell both of them are handling the umpire, and just having that relationship to try to work through things as they evolve. I'm very proud in Carnes as a freshman. It just says a lot about his makeup and capabilities to step in here and deliver the way he did, defensively and at the plate.
Coach, you were 1 out away from a win, and then you had to watch them celebrate. You go in now needing 2 wins in 2 days. How would you just describe where your team is at now moving forward and the challenge you face?
Oh, that's awful. I mean, it doesn't get much worse than that. And these guys will regroup, and we have Arnold going, and they need to feel this a little bit. You're not shaking this off right now. You absolutely, and you should not. Like, there were enough good things that happened, but there were also enough negative things that took away from our chances to really either have more of a lead or snuff it out. And you need to think on it for a little bit and reflect. And how do you learn? This is a tough learning situation, but it has to become that, because you can't repeat those things clearly. And then the guys that were not maybe in the situation today have to learn from what happened. And on this stage, in this moment, with the lock-in and the capabilities of the players, everything needs to click to get all 27 outs. And every one of them, it's an accumulation. It's accumulation of how you execute. And we probably, although it felt like we were in position, we came out on the downside of the execution more.
Walks obviously haven't been a super strong suit for your club this year, but you draw 3 off of Dax there, run up that pitch count pretty early. I'm curious, how did you guys feel like he was trying to attack you in the zone, and then what did you guys do to chase him early?
Well, he's got 4 above average pitches. So we were trying to make sure we were prepared for the fastball, and then try to figure out if he's landing the other pitches. If there was a chink coming into this, it was maybe that he didn't land the secondary pitches as often as he did, and then it turned into he was going to attack with the fastball just from what we had studied and looked for. So the recognition is not easy, but I was disappointed the number of strikeouts that we had, but it did get him out of there, and there were some things that were created because of the patience. The strikeout looking is really tough to deal with when it happens, but all in all, like, we did mount some good at bats, and the 2-out hitting was good.
Anybody else? Okay, we'll call this last question.
Obviously, your group's a lot different from last year, but you suffered a similar loss in the first game in Omaha last year, and you had a day off last year, but just how can you kind of pull from that and the identity of this group of being able to respond from adversity so often in the last 2 years?
Well, these are independent competitions, and as difficult as that feels right now, when it's 6:06 and that first pitch is thrown, this shouldn't have anything to do with it. You have to go play and perform and finish and execute and have an offensive attack and run the bases better and execute pitches better. That's how we approach. Had the script been reversed in this and we were all excited right now, it still has to be the same approach. And if that helps them be resilient, then great, because this game is played so frequently, the number of games, you have to handle the ups and downs if you're going to be successful as a team. And the players, within the team success or failure, there's individual highs and lows that they have to absorb too. So some of those guys that had great games, that's over with, and some that didn't, that's also over with. So there's the team component, and then there's the individual performance that has to be repetitive when you play so many games in the sport.